Hey guys, OJ Albina here, bringing you guys my APA Academy Week 2 battle against D-Ray and his San Diego Snugglers. Really cool dude. He actually just recently took over this team from our buddy Steven, who unfortunately had to drop. And like I said, my team builder, he was very accommodating with scheduling me and kind of working around where me and Steven originally scheduled, because I went on vacation last week and I had to get the game done before a certain time. So he was able to rush, get a team together, and play me, and that team actually being the team that Steven drafted, not the changes that he made. So again, I really do appreciate that from him. Really cool guy. I definitely recommend you go check him out down below in the description, as well as all the other coaches and all that stuff. But yeah, if you did want a more detailed description of the team that we're bringing, I definitely recommend go checking out our team builder. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. It should have went up yesterday, and it kind of details, the breakdown of the whole matchup, and then the 6 mons I'm bringing, sets, EVs, and all that good stuff. But a quick rundown of the team we're bringing. We are bringing a bulky choice scarf Jirachi with stealth rock, so stealth rock scarf Jirachi, a max physically defensive rest talk Gramble with play rough and toxic, a 3 attacks toxic Volcanion, a nasty plot 3 attacks Lumberry Naganadel, a Swords Dance 3 attacks Mega Garchomp, and a Life Orb 4 attacks Deoxys attack. While the team my opponent elected to bring, they went with the Palossand, the Salamence, Mega Beedrill, Klefki, Mew, and Mienshao. Though right off the bat, I see no Zekrom, which is phenomenal for me. I understand why he didn't bring it. Its speed tier wasn't the best versus me. However, I didn't switch into it very well at all, so if he could position it correctly and get it in on me, he could kind of just click a button. So it's really good that we, were able to avoid that there. I also see no Tapu Bulu, which is very nice. It sucks because I didn't bring Earthquake on my Garchomp because of it, but oh well, not the biggest deal in the world. But yeah, with that being said, biggest threats to me, the Mew, if it's Calm Mind, is absolutely terrifying. Calm Mind Z Mew is really good versus me. Mienshao I don't switch into very well at all, especially if he's Reckless High Jump Kick. It kind of just picks something off if I don't have Gramble healthy, which is very scary in itself. Klefki is annoying. Mega Beedrill is also pretty annoying. Can pivot around my team pretty well, but I do have pretty solid ways of revenging it. It doesn't really OHKO anything on my team. The only thing it really can scare out, I guess, would be my Gramble. It might be a pretty decent revenge killer in this game if things get weakened, but yeah, not too scared about the Beedrill. Salamence is always scary if I let the thing get out of hand. If it's a Dragon Dance set, it can be very terrifying. And then Palossand is a pretty solid rocker in this match, so I definitely see why he wanted to bring that and kind of guarantee and get a rock for me in case I was like a Sash Deoxys. Helps chip down my Volcanion, stuff like that. But yeah, with that being said, I am going to lead off with my Scarf Jirachi. It was originally here for the Tapu Bulu, but it actually didn't end up coming, so it leaves me a little bit more free to play how I want with my Jirachi. And it helps off if he wants to lead off with like the keys, or if he wants to lead off with Beedrill to try and get a Mega and a U-turn off, or if he wants to leave with Scarf Mienshao and try and get a big Reckless High Jump kickoff. I can kind of Zen Headbutt that thing, I can U-turn out, kind of just scout his set. So we're going to see that my opponent is going to lead off with the Palossand. I do not want to stay in on this thing at all. I'm just going to go for a U-turn, do next to nothing, but grab momentum nonetheless, as I am going to go out into my Volcanion. Very aggressive play right here, but I didn't figure he would go for the Earth Power just because he would probably value getting up rocks versus me more. So this gets me my Volcanion for free without having to take any kind of Earth Power chip, which is phenomenal. And now I'm free to throw off a pretty riskless Steam Eruption right here, as he does not have any real switch-ins to this. He didn't bring Keldeo, so he doesn't have any resistance other than the Salamence. And if I can burn this thing, that would be phenomenal. This thing's so much less scary if it's burned. But we're going to throw it off. We're going to do a clean like 30-35%, but we do not, unfortunately, get the burn. So I am going to switch out on this thing, expecting him to either set up or throw off a big hit versus me, and I figure my Volcanion still has some pretty good value in this game. I am going to get off a pretty nice Intimidate on this thing, as he does end up going for the Earthquake with his Salamence, getting off a pretty decent chunk versus me, but not enough to where it's really too big of a deal. I can still check the Mienshao pretty well, as he's going to switch out, go into his Klefki for the first time. Not back out, he hasn't gone into it yet, as I am going to pull a double myself, expecting that switch, going into my Volcanion. That was a pretty aggressive switch, but I figure early game, there's no way he really wants to leave his Salamence in on my Granbull, as the range he was at, he definitely died to a play rough, because Granbull, despite being pretty defensive, has a very high base best base physical attack stat. I think I kind of go into my Volcanion and throw off a free big hit. I'm going to go for the Steam Eruption, expecting him to want to switch out again. He does call my bluff, though, and he makes a pretty aggressive play and goes for a Thunder Wave. So paralyzing me is pretty annoying, but at least I can't be toxic. And this way, if he goes into the Mew and I can get a Toxic off on it, I won't be toxic to myself. And I wasn't really outspeeding anything besides potentially the Palossand anyways, and this Klefki, but not too big of a deal. He is going to throw off a Foul Play right here. I'm going to throw off another Steam Eruption. I figured he might want to switch out here, but he seems pretty content giving me his Klefki, which is completely fine with me because of the fact that now, after this, he has like no semblance of a Deoxys switch in and nothing to really force me out right away. I outspeed his entire team barring Scarfers, and if I can get up rocks, he really doesn't switch into Psycho Boost plus E-Speed like whatsoever. So he is going to switch out here, saving it, potentially for a sack in the back later, as he does go into the Salamence right here, as I believe I go for a Steam Eruption again, but I am going to get fully paralyzed, unfortunately. Not too big of a deal, though. We get a little bit of Lefty's chip back right here, as he is going to pull his switch out himself, going into his Mega Beedrill right here, making a pretty aggressive switch, as I am going to go for the Toxic. Now, I didn't really need my Volcanion at this point. I figured getting off a Toxic on a Dragon Dance set would be great, so I can chip into range of E-Speed. But this is fine, because right here, he's going to go into, he's going to obviously throw off his Mega, and if he wants to go for the U-turn, that's fine. I get another big hit off on something, and if he wants to go for the Drill Run, I actually live it 100% of the time, unless he gets a crit. Even if he's adamant Mega Beedrill, we do live this hit. He does go for the Drill Run, in fact, and provided we don't get paired, we will be able to knock out this Mega Beedrill, which we do, and we're able to pick it off with a Flamethrower. So that's a very, very good pivot and revenge killer versus our team Gone right here, which is phenomenal. We do take a lot of chip on our Volcanion, rendering it pretty much useless at this point, being that rocks are up and I don't have any removal on this team, but not too big of a deal, as he is going to go into the Mienshao, and I figure this will let me scout the set, see if I can see any other item. He goes for the knockoff. He's able to knock us out, showing us that he is actually, there we go, Life Orb. So he's a Life Orb Mienshao. He likely has Fake Out at that point, I believe, probably for the Deoxys, just to chip it down. But being that he's not Scarf, I can go into my Deoxys for free and basically pick up a kill. He has nothing to switch into this monster, like, whatsoever. And he's going to go into his Klefki, basically just sacking it off. This kind of makes me wish I went for, like, a Shadow Ball or something, but I didn't want to risk him staying in, and Psycho Boost was definitely my best play. Otherwise, we're going to throw off that really cool Psycho Boost animation. It's part of the reason why I wanted to run it, just because it looks so dope and gives me a good thumbnail for the video. But we're able to knock out the Klefki, which is amazing, so no more Prankster T-Wave or anything like that versus us, as he is going to send out his Mew right here. And this is a point in the match where I'm thinking, oh no, I messed up. If this is Calm Mind, I probably messed up pretty hard right here, because -2 Shadow Ball and E-Speed probably doesn't knock out like a max HP Mew. He is going to go for a Calm Mind right here. I go out into my Jirachi, figuring if he wants to go for any move, it's a good neutral pivot. If you want to go straight for an attack, something like that, fearing like my knockoff or anything. But he is just going to go for the Calm Mind. I'm going to go for the U-turn initially, scout damage. He looks to be around max HP, something like that right here, based on that U-turn damage, as I am going to go out into my Granbull right here, just as a pivot. I figure it's my least useful member. Being that the Mienshao isn't Scarf, I'm not as scared of it now. I just kind of have to pivot around its Fake Outs, and then I can pretty much always revenge it with something, as he is going to go for the Earth Power on my Jirachi. Thankfully, he did not keep setting up, and he is going to bring us down to 14 HP. Now, right here, my play is 100% 2-click Toxic. If he wants to try and set up all over my Granbull, I'm not going to allow that to happen. He is going to go for the Earth Power. He is going to take out my Granbull, and we are going to have this game be tied up 4-4 right here. Now, the Mienshao and the Salamence is looking very scary in the back. The Salamence especially, if he can chip my Jirachi down, he can definitely outrage sweep me. If he is Scarf and being like he showed to be Moxie earlier, I can definitely see Scarf being a potential bring, because he doesn't have any other Scarfers on the team right now. But right here, I'm going to go into my Jirachi, and I'm going to try and flinch this thing down. It can't really set up on me or anything like that, as I do actually get a crit flinch. Now, the flinch isn't as crazy. It is a 60% chance with the Soaring Grace and all that stuff, but the crit is definitely unfortunate, because it means I don't really have to flinch him again, and I can kind of throw off another Iron Head, forcing him out. I did want to potentially double on the obvious Palossand switch, but I didn't want to risk this Mew, you know, being able to heal back up, as he is going to, I am going to go for the Iron Head on the Palossand, get a pretty big chunk off, and then scout damage, and he's going to get a little bit of leftovers back. So I'm going to switch out my Jirachi right here. I'm locking to Ironhead, and unless I get a bunch of flinches in a row, I won't be able to break down this Palisand, and he does have reliable recovery. As I'm going to go into my Garchomp, knowing I can take 2 hits from this thing no matter what, as he is going to actually get the Spadef drop. Now this does suck, because this means that we cannot take 2 hits, and I was going to probably potentially try and set up on this thing and, try and break through it that way and just chip it down like that. But right here, I am going to pull switch back out into my Jirachi. Now, that seems like an odd play being that I just switched this out, but my plan right here is I want to get up my Stealth Rock. If I get up my Stealth Rock, so let me see. I know I just switched out, but if I do get up my Stealth Rock, I actually do put that Salamence in range of my Deoxys Extreme Speed. The Mew is in range, the Mienshao is definitely in range, and this Palisand's in range. So Deoxys is looking primed to sweep, even if that Salamence does end up being Scarfed in the back. So if I do get up rocks, the game should be as good as mine, provided he's not like max HP Scarf. He should be in range of an E-Speed from our Deoxys. As I am going to get up the Stealth Rock, thankfully he didn't go for Stockpile or anything crazy like that with the Palisand, and he is going to knock out our Jirachi. Now this kind of looks bad, like we kind of just sacked off 2 of our, better Mons versus him. But in all actuality, it's not that big of a deal, because now I get to go out into my Deoxys, I believe, and pretty much just pick up a KO right here. He has no switch-ins to this monster at all at this point, and I do have plenty of Life Orb hits left on me just to do damage to his team overall, as he is going to switch out right here, and I believe he sacks off his Mew, which is a good play. It didn't have much value left in this game at all. It wasn't really recovering up on anything I had left in the back, as I am going to get off the Ice Beam, and I am going to knock out said Mew. So that Calm My Mew was very, very scary versus me. I'm glad that we were able to, stop that thing with good old Jirachi Ironhead flinches and stuff like that, as he does go out into the Salamence. Now this screams that he is Choice Scarf, because I literally just clicked Ice Beam. So my best play is obviously we go to the Extreme Speed, and I am going to be able to knock him out, being that he was not Intimidate and he was Moxie Immense. And we're going to be able to take that out as Deoxys picks up another kill, and we are up 3-2 right now. So Deoxys is definitely bringing it back for us. He brings back in the Mienshao, shows to be Regenerator, so he is not reckless. I'm going to switch out into my Garchomp, as the likely the likely Fake Out is pretty obvious here, and I can force him to take some Rocky Helmet Chip plus Life Orb right here, as he is going to go for the Fake Out. He's going to take some Rough Skin Chip, and then he's going to take some more Life Orb Chip. Now right here, as you guys know, or as you may not know, the AP Academy is not a first turn Mega League. So in this situation, I figure my best play is to stay on Mega, just because if he does outspeed me and he's creeping, non-Mega Chomp, he would still take a little bit of Rough Skin Chip, and that would chip him down even more. I go into Deoxys, I click a button, something knocks out, and then I sack off my Deganadel, and I win, be the last one with my Deoxys anyways, even if he does preserve the Mienshao for the Fake Out priority. So I figured staying non-Mega would be non-drawback, but he actually ends up not outspeeding me. So he must have been very aggressively creeping my team, or maybe he was just creeping not non-Mega, Mega Chomp, as I am going to be able to knock out this Mienshao with a Dragon Claw, which is really, really phenomenal, because now Garchomp can actually potentially just kind of win this game for us. Right here, I'm going to make a really dumb play, and I'm not going to Mega. After the game, I was like, I just kind of was thinking, oh, Deoxys wins no matter what. I might as well just kind of click a button. But I should obviously Mega, and I might have lived that Earth Power, and I might have guaranteed the win and chipped him down more. So if he was max Spadef for some reason, no, I don't think he would have been able to live anyways. But still, it just would have been an optimal play to go for my Mega. But unfortunately, I do not, and I'm going to lose a point of diff right here as my Garchomp goes down. I probably wouldn't be able to 2-hit KO him anyways with Mega Chomp, and I probably would have went down to the Earth Power regardless. But it's not going to matter. I'm going to be able to go into Deoxys. I'm going to click Ice Beam because it cannot miss, and Psycho Boost can. I'm going to be able to take out this Palisand, and we are going to be able to pick up a nice 2-0 dub versus D-Ray and his San Diego Snugglers. So GG to him. Very, very fun game. Very close offensive back and forth game. Deoxys just went in versus my opponent's team. There was not much he could do to prep around that thing, and the fact that Klefki got so chipped early and he couldn't threaten me with T-Wave stuff, and he didn't really have a Psychic switch in anymore, really did help me out in the long run. So yeah, GG to him again. Thank you for, obviously accommodating to my schedule and stuff like that with me rushing and all that stuff. So we are able to pick up our first win of the season, which is great. Quick little housekeeping before next week. We actually ended up dropping Volcanion. While I did put in a ton of work and I was super excited to use it this week, D-Ray actually, when he was making his drops for his team, he ended up dropping Keldeo. And Keldeo fit my team phenomenally. It helped me, help those base 110s not run, Adamant and Modest versus me as easily. Gave me a nice dark resist, and it's a mon that I've had a ton of fun using. I used an NCP and I actually brought it to MVP there. It went like 23-6 on the season. It's one of my favorite mons to use in draft all time, and it was literally pretty much an even trade because we had a little bit of points left over in the draft from the original draft. So we traded Volcanion for a Keldeo, and that's going to be in effect next week. So unfortunately, Volcanion does have to make its exit. I did have a lot of fun using it this week, though, and I'm glad I got to use it at least once before Gen 7 ended. Really, really cool mon. Hopefully I can draft it again in the future. But yeah, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this week. If you are new, be sure to subscribe and stick around so you can catch all our league games as they go up in the future. And be sure to drop a like if you guys enjoyed the video. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to catch you guys later.